Welcome to So You Think Your Car is Fast, where we dive into the world of high-end, fast cars and explore what it truly means to have a fast car. From the latest in supercar technology to the mechanics that make these machines go, we'll separate fact from fiction and uncover the misconceptions about speed and power that exist in the minds of the general public. Join us as we put the pedal to the metal and discover what it takes to have a car that truly lives up to the title of fast.
And we're live. Episode 22. So you think your car is fast.
Oh, dear.
Is that what this is? Episode 22?
Episode 22.
Okay.
Episode 21 did pretty well. So
Yeah.
we have quite some big shoes to fill.
We have a couple episodes that have done significantly better than the others.
And
Usually when we name drop.
you can tell based on our
Oh.
faces right now, we have no idea what that connection is.
We need to name drop more. Who's the most famous person you know?
That's a good question.
Probably you, Todd. Probably
Oh.
you.
Yeah. Todd's pretty internet famous. I mean, it helps when you run around and have everybody tell you that you're number one all the time.
Yes.
Well, I always say, oh yeah, I race with you know who Black Horse Turbo is? Oh yeah, the guy. Yeah, I know him.
You really don't know me. When we turn this off, we don't speak.
Oh,
Oh man, he's calling people
our
peasants?
WhatsApp has been quiet lately.
It hasn't been quiet, Taylor. Come on. Everybody knows you're selling your car.
Attempting to.
Not the blue car or the
Not the
camo
blue.
car. The GT3 is for sale.
Yeah.
And
It has been a circus.
has it been fun?
It's been a circus. All I
And-
can do is laugh about it, but there are some really angry, bored people out there that send messages.
I've just been watching our group chat and the things that I have seen go by. Just
Well, okay, so you got kind of some categories, right? You've got the small time. I shouldn't say shady because I don't know them, but I just said it so you get the idea. Small car dealerships that want to just lowball you. If you don't take their offer, you're an idiot. And then there's the people that think they're funny, and I equate that to back. You know, anybody who's had a part-time job that's worked a cash register. When something doesn't ring up, they're like, "Oh, I guess it's free." And you're like, "This is the 43rd thousandth time I've heard that joke today. I don't have it in me to humor you anymore." And that's how a lot of these messages are. People are like, "Oh, what about $5 and a pack of gum?" And I'm just like, "No, I don't have teeth. I don't chew gum."
Well, can we pull these up and go through them? Because
Yeah.
we need to make these people famous.
this will be a public shaming for those. Yes.
Okay. All right. Offer number 1 from Gregory Nichols. Will you accept $5 and a hug?
And so I replied, I'm not much of a hugger. And the thing is, people that know me know that I am not a hugger.
I know this is true. I tried to hug you once and you looked at me
I
like,
have a thing on my desk that says not a hugger.
it's true.
Okay. Let's see here. We got Tyler. Tyler says, would you take $10,000 cash and a Toyota Camry?
Yeah, I think he meant Camry, but
You think?
it was a really good response. I'm not really into
Really
photography.
into photography.
No.
Good with Taylor. Taylor, he's come up with some zingers here. Okay, here we have Diana. What does Diana say? Hello, is this available? Yes. Can I take pictures in front of it?
Oh, no. I didn't
I
see
didn't
that
respond anymore. I was just like, okay, all right.
one. Now you're
And I
crossing the
know,
line.
I told you guys, I could be the bigger person and just not respond. But some of these, it's just sometimes
Okay.
you just gotta poke the bear a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Okay. This guy's curious. He must be just coming up in the world. His name is Brian. Is this still available? Yep. Such a beautiful vehicle. That color. May I ask how you got to this point?
Well, he says how you go.
How
To
you
this
go
point.
to this point?
That's a really great way to separate signal from noise on the internet. If somebody is talking to you and they just clearly misspell words all the time. Like I mean, you know, I typo sometimes. Everybody does. But if you know, you just look at it as a data point along the journey, and you're like, yeah.
Nearly all of these have some kind of a typo. You got to get around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the best is they go, "What's the VIN?" It's
Yeah.
literally the first line in the description. You don't even have to click that more ... to read
Yeah.
that.
Right. All right, here we go. Now the car's listed at like 128 or something, right?
Yeah.
He's like, could you do 70? 70 what? Okay. You might need to rethink your offer. You might need to give me a counter offer. No, no need. This isn't the car for you. I have 95 cash. Not even close. What do you want for it? It's already the least expensive in the world.
It literally was too. Clean title GT3, least expensive out there.
Oh my
You know what
God.
I almost did? I found there's one on eBay right now that the pictures are like the back, kind of like a back 45-degree shot, and it's buy it now for like $70,000.
Yeah.
And then you scroll down to the bottom of the pictures, it has no front end. And so I thought about sending it to him and being like, "Hey, here's one if you're still interested."
I'll give you.
But I was like, "Nah, that's like I'm gonna not do that."
Julian. Okay, the same guy. Oh, is this the same?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
So we're,
Okay. Oh my gosh, I
so
saw.
we go
what you said.
further with Julian.
I didn't know about
Julian
this
then
part.
says, "I hope your wife divorced you."
Yeah, I don't know where that even came from, but
I'm not looking to be a jerk, but Taylor says, but you literally offer barely half.
Barley.
Even Taylor says
Even
barley.
Taylor's doing it. Well, these people are getting to his mind, right? They're getting into
it was voice texting,
yes.
Barley half.
and then it wouldn't work. So yeah, I misspelled it.
So good, so good. Then Taylor quips back. Hope you make more money, buddy. All right, we got Zachary. Zachary's up here going, "Hey, give it to me. I'll take good care of it." No response.
No response. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even remember something. I got so many messages every day.
Here's Adam. What's the VIN? I'm not interested in wholesale. Who says I'm a dealer? All your sold listings, and you didn't read the ad.
So
Well,
what does that
how
mean?
on Facebook Marketplace you can click view buyer
Uh,
and it shows what he had, like 40 cars that all showed sold. I'm
Nah,
like,
he's
okay,
not a
well,
dealer.
this guy.
That's not a dealer. That's
But when
just an
you-
avid fan.
Yeah,
But, but
yeah,
you
right.
said
Okay.
you didn't read the ad. Did you say something in the ad about no dealers?
No, just the VIN is the first line.
Yeah.
It's already there.
It's already there.
already there, buddy.
We got Odie Joyce.
And
Odie
half
Joyce.
these aren't real people, right?
I think they're all real people.
This guy says, "Is it available?" Price. Taylor says it's in the ad. Price catch. CACH. Okay.
So I feel the need to mention to people that when you tell somebody, will you take 95K cash? Any rational person doesn't hear the cash part. They just hear 95K. Of course, I would take cash if the
Yeah,
number
like,
was correct.
I don't-
Like I'm even willing to wait a couple of days for a wire transfer or a certified funds.
There was
cash-
one in there. I told him, I was like, "Are you going to bring it in a briefcase?"
We're getting to it.
Okay.
All right, Joe. Oh, Joe has $30,000 and a Big Mac meal. Give me a car.
Well,
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's okay. That's okay.
That's all right. That's fine.
We like Joe.
Okay, Joe's all right. Joshua. Oh, Joshua wants a payment plan, and he lays it out here specifically. You want to read that, Dan?
Oh, 40K a week, and I keep the car in title until it's paid. Otherwise, no, I'm just a private seller. Oh boy, yeah. It's 40K is steep, like what is that, like steeping your tea bags or something? for my blood, I think more monthly to ensure money in your account and stretch out longer so you could always count on it being there. But mine would be a signed paper. We both agree. I get car, you keep title, and I keep full coverage 100 of the time. Man, I can't read any more of that.
Right. That's why I made you read it.
The crazy thing,
can't get through it.
This conversation went on for a long time because I was like, I'm gonna help this guy understand why he's an idiot. And I was like, look, man, why would a seller let you just take the car for no money? And he's like, well, I mean, and I said, plus, if you can't get traditional financing, isn't that a little bit of a red flag to me? And he goes, well, I mean, I would pay it. I'm sure that's never been said by someone who defaulted on a loan before.
Well,
Yeah, but he goes on to
pay it.
say he'll keep routine oil changes and I'll keep it clean, all maintenance. But I understand. If not, I'll just look for another vehicle.
Hey, look,
Don't threaten me.
I'm totally fine with people making payments on cars, right? That's not a big deal. But why are you looking at a GT3? What?
But he's hoping you're desperate.
My favorite is I was like, I thought I was being cool. I was like, all right, well, if you got like, I don't know, if you own a business and you got some cash flow expected to come in, whatever, 40K a week. And he's like, That's way too much.
Whoa, that's a little more than I can handle.
What?
Taylor, what did you offer him? 40K for 3 weeks until he pays it?
Yeah.
That's a little steep. Hey, Raphael here. Raphael's got a pretty good offer here, Taylor.
Yeah.
He wants to offer you $10, a pack of Marlboros, a can of root beer, in 10 minutes with his wife. Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave that.
Scrolling for photos of wife.
Sorry,
No,
it's not available.
did not happen. So good. Oh, Ryan.
Gonna
Let's see.
need more than
Ryan
10
says,
minutes.
Ryan comes in strong.
He does.
Take those ugly ass seat covers off and sell it for 120. Oh,
See-
beautiful car though, bro.
I love those seat covers. Those seat covers are awesome. Those, I mean, I don't know what that guy, clearly he has iffy taste.
He has no taste. He has no taste. Okay, what is this? O-Wise?
I
Is
bet.
this he says, is this available? Yes. 6K. Take it or leave it. Taylor says, sounds great.
Great. Oh, sounds great.
I like this this exchange here of Dennis and Taylor.
Yeah.
Dennis says, hey, is this available? Yes. Then Dennis says no. And Taylor says, maybe.
That's it? Yes.
That was
Whoa.
it.
Does it go on from there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Andrew's got a hard offer of 100K cash today. Taylor
How
says, how much tomorrow?
Give me 100,000 cash. There's no lights on and it runs.
Oh my God. And Taylor says, will you bring it in a briefcase?
Yeah, but what he said there was give me 100,000 cash.
Give
Yeah,
me
I don't-
100
that
cash.
was- that's the
Is he
lowest
asking-
offer I
is he
had
asking
was
for the car and
Car
the
and
cash?
100,000. Yeah,
I don't know. Andrew. Oh, there's a mutual friend. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I know that. I know him too. Oh my. We might have to cut that part out.
No. No cuts.
No cuts. Oh no.
So I guess is it safe to say, Taylor, that you have sold the vehicle?
I think so. It always happens the same, right? Like I've got it on the market for a week. I get a whole bunch of garbage and I get frustrated and I'm like, I got to get rid of this thing. And then I have a whole bunch of offers all at one time come in and I'm juggling them carefully so that I don't lose the backup one in case the first one bails. So currently I have a deposit on the car. I think it's legit. I have some mutual connections with the guy, so that's good. And then I've got another dealership that I promised the car to that's blowing up my phone today that I'm dragging my feet even responding because I feel like I can not respond for 24, 36 hours and
Well, to be fair,
climb
you
back
talked
into
to
a
that
deal.
dealership a week and a half ago and then they ghosted you for a week.
No, they just ghosted me for a day, 2 days.
Oh, that's not
2 days.
too
Yeah.
terrible. Okay.
They just move slow.
So you took the $10 and a pack of Marlboros as the deposit?
Yeah.
Right on.
And the Big Mac or whatever it was. I don't know. I said, go ahead and throw in the camera, man. Let's get some pictures.
The Toyota Camry. Oh my God.
Well, you could have used the camera to take pictures of that other girl in front of it.
In front of it. I bet she's an
I should have had them all come to my house all at the same time.
Oh,
The whack pack.
Yeah.
So
Then I had
good.
one guy that told me that I'd never find anybody with that much money. And-
You-
And I was like, and he was a car dealer. I was like, maybe your customers don't have that much money, but
maybe you
people
shouldn't
do.
be buying this car to sell to your customers who have no money. I mean, I don't want to shame people over money. I mean, this is a serious topic, but I mean, the idiocy, selling a car is hard.
Yeah, look,
You're
I
brave.
get it. Like dealerships have an advantage because they offer financing. I get it, and the market for a GT3 isn't large like for a Toyota Camry or something like that. But the dealers are funny because they're just trying to make a living, right? They're just trying to snag a car to sell, whatever. But the entitlement of some people is the part that I'm just like, what?
So can we discuss what you're going to do with this money?
I want a 991 turbo.
All right. I bet you drive it more than the GT3.
Yeah.
See, I'm going about this completely different than Taylor. I have a 991 GT3 also, and I'm also looking at a 991 turbo. And then I thought maybe I wanted a 997.2 turbo so I could be like Taylor, and because he already has one, although his is fast, depending on when you talk to us. And
Stone style right now.
I don't want to sell my GT3. I want to just keep it and buy the 991.
You're a collector.
Yeah, well, again, I think these cars are going to be worth a lot more in the future. Generally speaking, we were talking about this before we started recording today, but it's generally not considered to be a good investment to buy cars. But, these cars are kind of an exception for me because the electric revolution is coming, and it's coming quickly. I think the last Audi
a good
R8s
point.
have rolled off the shelves or the assembly line for those keeping track. The Huracans are the same way, and there's just not going to be pure internal combustion engine cars anymore. And if you look at the car market over the last 10, 15 years, old 911s get really expensive because a bunch of really old guys that have money want to buy them. And they're some of the best cars that have ever been made. So I just feel like if we pick well right now and get models that will perform well, in that setting. I mean, just think about 1960s and 70s muscle cars and how they went through the roof all of a sudden when they stopped making cars like that, right? I think it'll be even more profound because we're not just going from big block V8s to turbo 6-cylinders, which irked the real purists in those days. We're going from internal combustion to electric. And, I'm the most technologically, fanboy guy there is. Like, I love technology. That's why I love turbo cars. And even me, the electric cars, I'm like, it's hard to get as excited about, a Tesla Plaid as it is for, a Lamborghini STO. It's just hard.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Yeah, it is quite a the jump. And I know you already have. I have not. Although I am planning ahead. I'm adding electrical service for EV charging one day.
Well, traditionally my investment strategy as well as my car strategy is to buy high and sell low. So
Been there, done that.
I bought the Tesla, and then they whacked like $10,000 or $12,000 off of the price of said Tesla, and then right after that they started giving large federal tax credits for buying Tesla or electric in general, I guess. And I missed all of that. I just paid the highest price possible. So, but I do have my Model Y Performance, and that thing is ridiculous. It's just instantaneous power. I don't care if you have a 600 horsepower, normally aspirated car. You cannot just general driving, going around a turn and punching it mid-turn perfectly and putting all the power down instantaneously. You just can't. You can't beat it. You can't. They're in a different league. So everything's going to be that way pretty soon. I kind of want to enjoy our last vestige of turbocharged peace, if you will.
That brings me to kind of discuss this trade show I went to this weekend, the battery show. And I learned a lot about EV and EV vehicles. I didn't realize that they had inverters. And so the batteries make tons of DC power. 800 volts. And so the inverter is on top of the motor and then inverts down to, I thought it was all 12 volt,
Well, I'm not the most studied on it, but 3-phase AC power lets you do something kind of cool, which is like in an internal combustion engine, your piston goes up, you make compression, it goes bang, then so it's it's suck, squish, bang, blow, right? So it sucks the air in, it
This is a
squishes
kid
it,
show.
it bangs it, and then it blows it out the exhaust, right? But on a 3-phase electric motor, as it's a on a standard AC power, it's 60 hertz sine wave going up and down, right? So you actually get a push as you go up, and you get a pull as you go down. So that's why they use AC power. And I think I explained that correctly. I'm sure somebody will probably tell me
It sounded great.
something wrong.
I'm sure one of our subscribers is an electrician.
It sounded great. It sounded great. And what kind of there was some technology there by Borg Warner. They have an eTurbo.
Yes, these are cool.
Hey, so you know what's funny? When I was in high school, I had two buddies, and one was super techie, and they were into, I don't know, stuff that I didn't understand, right? They were like the first kids that had CD burners and all that kind of stuff. And they invested in a company, I think it was called Cyberdyne, that they were trying to create an electric supercharger. And
Oh
this was
yeah,
back in like 1996. I mean,
I heard of those guys. They
I
had the
think the company
T100
went defunct, but
and the T101.
but that was like the first time I'd ever heard about it, and that was the issue, is they couldn't power it enough to actually create any kind of compression.
But the T1000 was made out of liquid metal. And that became a problem.
Not Cyberdyne,
Oh, sorry.
Powerdyne.
It is
Oh,
not
sorry,
a
sorry.
tuba.
Wrong
wait.
meeting.
What did I say?
I thought you said Cyberdyne.
He
I
did
don't
say
know.
Cyberdyne.
Did you say
Powerdyne.
Cyberdyne?
I think it was
Powerdyne.
called Powerdyne. Yeah, that was kind of the same situation there.
Well, so these Borg Warner have an e-booster, electronically driven compressor.
Yes, and it's cool because you can essentially use a alternator on the engine to drive a turbocharger instead of the exhaust gas.
That's
So
so
you have
cool.
way less inertia in it because you don't have to, like, the thing that determines how quickly your turbo spools up. One of the major components of that is how much mass there is in the wheel, the shaft, and the turbine. Well, the compressor wheel, the shaft, and the turbine wheel, right? So if you get rid of, effectively eliminate 2/3 of that weight, you don't need nearly as much power to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't figured out. Well, Borg Warner's figured it out apparently, and it works. So that's really cool. And we can just spin that thing to the moon. And if we don't want to spin it for purposes of surging, we just slow it down a little bit, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
You have electric speed control, like brushless, essentially, like RC engine spinning your turbo. Sounds like fun to me.
Well, it happens very quickly, apparently, with these new e-turbos, even at low speeds. I mean, it was impressive. This technology, this show is growing. It was not very big last year, and this year's bigger. And then they're going to move into a bigger convention center next year up in Detroit. So this is the way.
Didn't Manny have a photo or something of that eTurbo?
Yeah, he may have.
What you're talking about eTurbos. So this GLS that we bought for my wife, it has some kind of electric boost situation, and I don't know what the technology is. I don't know if it has an electric motor. I don't know if it's some kind of OEM electrically driven. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the technology is, and I can't. Oh wait, how about this? It's an EQ boost hybrid system which sandwiches an electric motor generator between the engine and standard 9-speed transmission. So I guess it is a motor, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's an electric motor that's somewhere in the driveline so that it can push.
Okay, I wasn't thinking about driveline. I was thinking at the wheels.
And that's kind of how the 918 Spider worked, right? Same kind of premise.
I would imagine.
I don't know, or did it have motors at the wheels? At each wheel?
Don't know.
I don't remember. This produces 21 horsepower and 184 pounds of torque.
That's the thing. There's just so much torque with the electronic technology.
Yeah.
The $700,000 car was a little out of my reach. So it's like
you bought one. It was a good investment because what do they sell for now? $2 million?
Yeah, like $2 million. Yeah. See, you get the right cars. Like a Carrera GT, they're going for over $1 million now. I rescued a Carrera GT once.
Really?
I was in the parking lot of the
drowning, and he
Kempinski
swam
Hotel in Dubai, and there was two. There was a red one and a white one sitting in the circle drive for the hotel. And these spoiled little kids got out of, like, I don't know what it was, a Rolls Royce or something like that, with their, towels in full flow, and got their bags off of the cart, and the one kid didn't even look. He just shoved it across the parking lot like, "You cart, begone." And it was going right towards this red Carrera GT. And you have never seen me move so fast ever.
Oh, wow.
I ran across that parking lot, and I got to that cart about 5 feet away from the car, and it had so much momentum. I had a hard time stopping it, but I got it stopped like a foot away from the car.
Wasn't even your car, but you had the respect.
I wasn't gonna let that happen on my watch.
Taylor,
Yo,
how far along is Steve now with your car?
I'm not bugging him daily. I mean, I do bug him daily, but not always about my car. I know that the motor work was done. The engine's still out of the car, and he is fitting the new turbos, but we're having to correct some things.
Oh yeah. What are we looking at here? What is this?
This is the engine and the first turbo fitted.
Nice. Okay.
So that's the passenger side.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve wanted to make sure that they were braced properly.
Yeah.
The turbos. So I know that's what he's working on. And I have a huge laundry list of just little things to do, like new carbon rotors.
What?
I bought them from Steve, I don't know, a year ago maybe, and he's just had them hanging on to him for me.
Oh, were they off the GT2?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to buy those too, but they don't fit. Good pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I basically got them for a song and a dance.
And
Nice.
is that the ones you get refurbished from the place in Germany and sent back here and all that stuff?
I mean, that's an option. I think we're just gonna run them like they are because they're so low mileage anyway.
Yeah.
But the ones that I'm pulling off, I don't know. I might send them out. I'm not sure.
Oh, so you already have PCCBs on the car?
Yeah.
You're putting new rotors, fresh rotors on it.
Yeah, and mine would probably last a little bit longer, but it's just like I wanted Steve to look at it. I mean, 200 miles an hour is just not something I want to even.
Would yours fit my car?
Huh?
Would yours fit my car?
I don't know. I mean, probably not if those other ones didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you have GT3 sized rotors which are bigger and a different caliper.
Yeah, I would need a
But you have steel brakes, right?
I do.
So
it's impossible to find them right now.
Yeah.
They're just.
I'm sure there's some scammy people on Facebook selling them.
Oh, I need to find a scammy people.
Wait a minute. It's impossible to find the calipers, or it's impossible to find the rotors?
It's both. I might be able to buy them new, but
I don't really understand why a single carbon brake rotor is $10,000. It just it doesn't, like, sometimes when we deal with things
I thought they were $5,000.
I've found them for $12,000 for a pair.
I think retail from Porsche is like 10. I think that's what or around there. That's maybe what I'm or used to be.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's just the value proposition for me. Like, I can put a $1,500 set of steel gyro discs on the thing and they work just as well, or close enough to as well, that I don't care.
Well, it's not about working. They'll all work. It's just I want to save some weight.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's some brand out there. I was just looking the other day that they're steel brakes that are lighter, significantly lighter than stock. Not as light as the carbon ones, but they're 1/10 of the price of the carbon ones.
The gyro discs have a aluminum center hat.
That might be the ones I'm thinking about, actually.
And they weigh like 10 pounds a corner less.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, for like you said, the value proposition, those are the ways to go. In fact, I'm not even on my 991 that I'm going to look for. I don't even care about the carbon.
I actually want the carbon brakes because I've never had them. Both my turbo and the GT3 have steel, which is fine. And I bought them that way on purpose because I'm like, well, I'm not going to end up with a $20,000 brake job someday. But the amount of miles we put on our cars, probably not that big of a deal.
Okay, so
well, you could ask me where my engine is.
We know where your engine is.
It's the same spot it's been for years now.
Your engine's still
84 years.
It's been 84 years.
That old lady meme. There was something I was looking at the other day. It might have been because I was like trying to find an old email or an old text message, and it was something where we were like, can't wait for the 23 race season. That didn't age well.
Yeah. You wouldn't think it'd be that hard to get my engine built, but it can't be that hard. But that's what the captain of the Titanic said about the iceberg too.
Ooh, another Titanic reference.
I never watched the movie. I actually escaped it.
Okay, so Steve has my car too, and I don't think that he's looked at it yet. So no update there.
So when's the race? We always ask.
Apparently Steve has other business, and that just doesn't sit well with me.
What?
October 5th?
What's that?
The race?
Abilene? No, October 28, 29.
See, I don't know. Yeah.
John
There's
didn't know
something going on. Oh, I have a road rally trip on November 5th.
Was that the Colorado to Vegas or something?
Yeah, so
Wait a minute.
we're shipping cars from Dallas to Colorado. We fly to Colorado, then we drive from Colorado to Las Vegas over like a couple of days, like 3 or 4 days. And then we hang out in Las Vegas for the weekend and then we fly home.
All right, so it sounds like he's not going to SEMA with us because it's the same time.
Oh, I had not put that together yet.
When's the rally? What's the dates?
Well, I'll be there in Vegas that weekend. Manny, pull up my calendar, please.
So your rally's the 5th. SEMA ends, I think, on the 6th.
Oh, yeah. So I leave for the rally
Oh yeah,
on the 5th.
that's when it
a
starts.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's a Thursday. So Taylor, you and I we were
No,
planning on
I'm
being
talking
there.
November 5th.
Oh,
Yeah,
November.
that's
November
when I'm
5th is a
coming home from
Sunday.
SEMA, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were planning on being there 30 through the 2nd or something like
So
that.
I'll be there 30 through the 2nd with you guys, and then I'll come home, and then I'll go on the rally.
Look
And
at
then
you.
go right back to Vegas.
Right back to
That's
Vegas.
a lot of Vegas happening.
Well, since my kids were born, my wife and I have not gone on a trip together without the kids ever, and it's been, over a decade. So I got my wife. We had a funny conversation about this. I was like, I would really like for you to come with us on our trip to play cars. It'll be great. And then she's like, maybe I could do that. And then I realized, I said to myself, I was like, I will not be driving under the speed limit the whole time.
Mhm.
And that's when she said, no, you boys have fun. But then I realized that I was missing a great opportunity because our friend Tom, he told me have her fly into Las Vegas when we get there and not do
There
the
you go.
driving part. And I was like, oh yeah, let's do that. So that's the plan.
And you're taking the GT3 on this, right?
That's why I'm looking for a 991 turbo, because I would like to.
He couldn't keep up last time, remember?
Yeah, my GT3 was just too damn slow.
Can I make a suggestion? You can actually add turbos to a GT3, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I heard it's
Sounds
great.
like a terrible idea.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. You should look into it. You have time,
I
month.
think it's cheaper to buy a 991 turbo than it is to
I
add.
know it is.
But see, I don't want to sell right now because the prices are so low.
Yeah.
So
They are.
I could sell my my GT3 and buy a 992 turbo, and they're like $240,000.
That would be good for a down payment.
Yeah, exactly. If I sold it, the way I was running the numbers, it's almost a wash. If I buy a 991 turbo, I'll end up out of pocket, down payment and monthly about the same as I would be if I traded the GT3 and got a 992 turbo.
I can get on board with that, man. I've seen some 992 Turbo S's in the 230-ish range.
I want the Python green.
Really?
992
But
turbo.
not the crazy colors or not, because there's like one.
Oh no, Python green is not a paint to sample color. Like there's a few of them out. There's one for sale right now at a Porsche dealer in California. I was looking at it.
Taylor, you found a 992 turbo
S.
for 230?
Yeah, they're down there. They're 230, 240.
Yeah.
You
But
can get one
are-
with some miles.
Not
for
brand
220.
new, like a 21.
No, I wouldn't care about
Yeah.
a brand new one. Yeah.
Yeah. Prices are
Yep.
coming down, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, the 991s that I've been watching on like all the car for sale websites, they're staying there. There's a dealer, that blue one that I told you about. I mean, they're dropping it like $2,500 a week.
Oh, wow.
And that there was another one that they've dropped the price like $25,000 over the last 6 weeks. People aren't buying.
Well, the interest rates are so high. It's like 6-7%.
Yep.
You get used to paying 2%. 7%'s a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to finance one. I
Yeah,
would
that's
have
the problem, right? Like I always finance cars because I would rather pay a little bit of interest to keep the cash in my bank account. But that's why
That's
I buy high and
probably a
sell low.
great idea. I just know that I'm not disciplined enough. I've had
keep
in the
it.
beginnings of my adult life,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun spending the bank's money.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it changed to my money, it took a little bit more thought and restraint.
Yeah. Well, spending money is fun.
Retail therapy. Buying a new car is always a lot of fun.
My other friend Dan drove his car to Los Angeles this week. Bought a Mercedes SUV. I think not quite the same model that you have, Taylor, but similar, and is driving it back from Los Angeles right now. That sounds like a fun road trip, right? Both ways. I don't know. I'd rather fly and drive back than drive both directions. But he was trading a car into that dealer, so he took it.
Yeah, it is fun until you have like stuff going on and the time it takes, and then the gas prices too. Shipping, it's not that much more.
Hmm.
No, I think it's cheaper to ship a car in some ways because by the time you factor in lost time, depending on, you know, what your business situation is in terms of hourly or salary or whatever, it's usually cheaper, especially if you're going from like California to Texas.
Yeah.
That's a haul.
But it is fun. I flew out to Scottsdale one time and drove home a BMW, and then I flew out to Kansas City and drove home my 997.2.
No, I remember you telling me about that. I thought you were crazy that going to Kansas City.
So Taylor brought up earlier how we talked about how we're going to do in 2023, and there's one more event didn't do so well. So what do we plan for 2024? What are our goals?
My goal for 2024 is to show up to the first race.
Okay.
That's it. If I can make the first race, I don't care if I win, lose. I just want to be there and run.
Okay. That's a good goal. Taylor?
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
So we're not going for miles an hour. We're going for be there.
Yes, stretch goal is 215.
Okay. All right. That's what I need to hear. 215. Okay. Dan, 215. Taylor?
205.
Oh gosh.
205, Taylor stretch goal, 215.
Yeah, I don't.
205.
I don't know that I want to go faster than 215.
All right. I want to max out sixth gear, and that is 217.
217. That's a good number.
So
I have been 227. At
in a
Texas
mile.
Mile, I went like 196 in the half, and I let off. And then I was looking at this runway, and it looked like, you know, it was endless looking. I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I'm gonna keep going.
Todd made that mistake before.
So
Shh.
so I kept going, right? And then things I didn't know. First of all, once you hit about 215 or so, 220, you're not really driving a car anymore. It felt more like I was driving a submarine. The sound changed. The car almost felt like it squatted down a little bit more. Like the wind resistance became a real thing. It was surprising to me how the physics changed above that speed. My speedometer, also unaware of this fact previous to then, the ABS system is what drives the speedometer. So it's a Hall effect sensor, I think, with basically a tooth count. And it gets to a certain point where it can't differentiate between the teeth anymore as the trigger wheel spins around. So it hits 212 miles an hour, and that's as high as it reads. So the car isn't accelerating like it does, you know, in the other gears at that point. So I didn't know that I was still accelerating past 212. I mean, I could kind of tell, but it was kind of hard. And I was, you know, heads up, you know, looking around, trying to be as safe as possible. And I felt the engine twitch just a little. She just twitched on me a little bit. And, you know, the thing that I'm programmed to do when you feel something goofy with the engine, especially on a high load scenario like that, a really long pull, I let off the gas.
That's not what Todd says to do. He says never lift.
Never lift.
Well, there's times. There's times to do it. And
Taylor's still sore about that.
I looked at the data after the fact, and the draggy, actually it wasn't a draggy, it was a V-Box. V-Box said 227, and I had previously done the math right down to actual measurements of my tires using actual gearing numbers, and at my rev limiter was 227. And so I thought I hurt the engine. I was like, oh my God, I'm a complete moron. I shouldn't have been doing that long of a pull. I wasn't tuned for it. I probably hurt the engine. I got back to the pits, and Wayne looked at my log, and he wasn't there, but he texted me and he said, "You hit the rev limiter, you idiot." So yeah, I hit the rev limiter in 6th. When I let off the gas, there was 0.7 G of deceleration just from the wind resistance.
Wow.
It was surprising to me how hard. I didn't even touch the brakes hardly to get under 150. It just went and just dropped down. And the real sadness of the whole thing was I had my camera on top of the car, and the camera flew off, and I don't know where it went, but somebody. I told the Texas Mile people once I parked and realized the camera was gone that I had dumped a camera on the runway, and they're like, "Yeah, we found it." You know, a motorcycle that went behind me hit it, and it stuck in his boot.
What?
So they got the pieces of the camera, put them, I mean, literally, I mean, it was pieces, but I mean, there was absolutely nothing left of it. It was hilarious. Unfortunately, the memory card ejected in the incident and was never to be found, because that would have been amazing. A 200 plus 220 mile an hour pass, camera goes flying off the car, then gets schmucked by a motorcycle. That would have been a great video. But I even went so far as to contact some digital hardware engineers that I know, because when a camera is recording, what it actually does is write what you're recording in a raw format to a flash memory on board on the camera, and then it dumps it off to the SD card that you put in it. So there probably was some video there, but unfortunately the impact probably from the motorcycle hitting it cracked that flash chip as well. So we didn't get it. But GoPro had a deal where they would give you a $200 credit for any competitor's camera in any condition.
Even a 2017 Toyota camera?
Yeah, I think so. So I sent the
Sounds like a deal.
camera to GoPro. They gave me $200 off, and I got whatever the Hero model of the time was. It was like a Hero 8, Hero 9.
Oh, Calvo is bringing a freshly built AIM Porsche to Abilene.
Did they finish his car?
No, not yet, but that's what he's threatening.
Oh my goodness.
AIM is supposed to be coming as well. So
Oh, that's great.
no, it's not.
But is it a manual? It must be, right? Because
It is. Yeah, I think it's the black car, right?
Wait,
I thought his was
What?
silver.
Oh,
No, it is.
he's
black.
got a
Okay.
997?
Yeah, he
Mhm.
does. Yeah. AIM has had it for 2.5 years now.
It must be really special.
Hey,
He was telling me about it a while ago. He built them a Viper and turned it around in 6 months, and they still had his car. So we were
Oh man.
getting a bit of.
I
a charge
cannot
of it.
fault anyone, because I was just on the phone with somebody yesterday and he was talking about one shop this and one shop that, and I'm telling every shop has their stuff. I mean, it's
Nothing
just-
ever goes right in this business. It's too custom. It's too outlandish, and it's also being run somewhat interspersed with very irresponsible people in places that you don't always pick up on right away.
I know it's not everything, but I've started to judge a lot of things by the names and people that show up at the half mile stuff.
Mhm.
Right? Like when people tell me that they're the best performance shop and they've got the best tuner and they've got the best this and best this, and no one in the half mile game knows who they are. I'm not saying it's a no, but I'm just saying like that. If you're bringing cars out as a shop and you're successfully competing and making good passes in a half mile, you're building good cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for people to race what they sell so that the customers can see it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If everything breaks, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, we know
What?
things are going to break.
What do
They
you
go
mean it
spin, spin,
breaks?
spin. Eventually,
Spin.
they go spin, spin, clank.
Clank, clank, spin. That's self-clearancing.
Hey, if you could push through the initial clank.
This bolt was a little too long. Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. It's
That's what happened with my turbo speed sensors.
Oh, that's right.
it's right sized. Oh yes.
Oh.
Oh goodness. Taylor,
They just
I'm-
rubbed a little.
I'm so sorry, Taylor. You have the
Yeah.
worst. You have the worst luck.
I haven't had great luck.
So
Well,
Taylor, are
yo.
you gonna? Are the your old turbos, the Zona 95s, are they just gonna sit in a nice box for me just in case I need them?
I mean, I don't know, man. Are you going to pay rent?
No. I just want you to hold them.
Just-
If you could
yeah,
just hold on to
just
them.
monthly payments so I
Yeah.
can have money in my account.
Look, so the money keeps flowing. I'm going to pay you weekly,
Yeah.
but I'll keep full coverage.
So it's $50 a
We
week.
do the oil changes.
I'll do regular maintenance.
All right.
$50 a week. Todd will store them in an air-conditioned garage. There has to be climate
Yeah.
control.
Oh, speaking of my garage, yeah, we haven't done an update. So it's up. I need doors now, and then we are going to start on the interior build this week.
Cool.
This week, wow.
Yeah. So first thing, I guess we're going to frame it out. I think they're going to bring electricity into it and then frame it out and then, finish it up. So I'll get some progress photos for us.
So when my missus finds out I bought the 991, does that mean I have a place to stay?
You can store it there. Sure.
Did you buy a 991?
Not yet.
I might get crazy and make a phone call offer after we get off this.
I have this really
Oh.
strange thing that always happens to me. an idea occurs and I say, I can't possibly do that. That's the most crazy, irresponsible thing I've ever heard
Yeah,
about.
but then you just think about it for a while and you figure out how it makes sense.
But no, it's not even that it makes sense. I realized that I have to do it, right? Like I have to do this. Like how could I
Yeah.
not? How could I pass this opportunity up? This is an opportunity that I will never get again to be this irresponsible and get away with it.
YOLO.
YOLO. Do we want to plug anybody? Do we want to?
I need to talk to Arizona Cycle Parts.
Okay.
He messaged me after our last episode, and we ought to do something with him. I think there's
he would be interesting to have on here because that's kind of a cool side of the business.
Yeah, and he's got an amazing amount of stuff too, just like on his website to talk about. I mean, he did say that he's been a drag racer his whole life, and he used to race 7-second cars. So he might be the fastest guy we've ever had on, which could also be kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want to see him, let us know.
I tell you what, let's wait. Let's wait till he breaks the world record, then have him on.
I think he's going to in Abilene.
Okay.
I have a feeling. I don't know. I just kind of have that feeling.
All right.
And with underground racing behind it, then there's legitimate,
a good chance. That's a good track.
Yeah.
That's where I went my fastest. Mark. I have a new deal with anti-gravity batteries, so you can use my code and get discounts.
What is the code? Is it BHT?
BHTR10.
BHTR10.
This new one I got carries the full power all the way through the pole, and it's lighter. It's probably 20-30 pounds lighter than the normal battery. So
what about for like
I like the product.
street style usage?
I think it'd be
Should be
better
fine.
for that because you're more worried about it discharging while the car sits for weeks. If it's running every now and again and the alternator's charging it.
And if it dies, you just press the remote and the battery turns on. It doesn't go beyond full death. So you turn it on, start the car.
It has a BMS circuit or a battery management system circuit in it. So it's like a phone, right? The phone shuts off before the battery actually completely dies. Like you never want to run a lithium battery below about 20% because if the voltage actually gets too low, it'll never come back.
It's done. So it doesn't allow itself.
So how much do they end up being with your discount?
I think it's like $700-800 after his discount. Because I was eyeballing it too, going,
How long do they last?
They last a long time. I mean, longer than a normal AGM or standard battery.
7-8 years, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So, Dan, have you missed every event this year?
Yeah, I haven't made one this year. I went with you guys, and I had a concussion at the time, and I was kind of useless. Yeah. And other than that, nothing.
All right, then. That concludes episode 22 of So You Think Your Car is Fast. Next time, we discuss other stuff. Thanks for listening and or watching. Don't forget you can watch on YouTube. Thanks for listening to So You Think Your Car is Fast podcast. Please subscribe and leave us a review. Also want to thank Redenzo Radar, redenzorradar.com/BHT for discounts. And for discounts on lightweight batteries at anti-gravity batteries, use discount code BHTR10. Go to antigravitybatteries.com. Also want to thank Evo Spec Engine Development, Forced Performance, and Driver Source.